back on the Capitolist, and today with me is Kevin Cate, one of the greatest communicators in Florida political history.
Thank you.
Is that right? Did I get it right?
It's like I wrote it myself.
Now I'm going to get like 4 or 5 emails from a handful of people in this town who want to sort of argue about whether that's actually true.
If they were sitting here, they'd have a case to make.
They would have a case to make, but the fact that you are here makes you one of the greatest, I would say.
It's an honor to be here at the Tosh 2.0 of Florida politics.
Thanks. That's a very high praise indeed.
It wasn't meant that way.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure I took it that way. But no, Kev, you are a Democrat strategist. You are a communications professional. You run KateCom. And you've advised people around the state, not just Tallahassee, but around the state for a while now. Tell me a little bit about you and what you're doing. And I know what you're doing right now in the governor's race, and we'll get to that, but just give me sort of an overview.
Sure. We consult for all kinds of different people. It's not just politics. We also do the business side and nonprofit side. We make lots of commercials. We do a lot of advertising.
A lot of videos.
We also do a lot of
fun
public
videos.
Relations. And then occasionally I get to sit here next to handsome hosts of the Capitolist.
Yeah, but
you've
done some satire work too, which I always appreciate. You've done some of that, some animation.
We've done some Christmas videos that have been passed around, and puts a lot of pressure on us every year to come up with something good.
You got to keep topping it, right?
Yeah.
It makes it tough. Now, you also have Above the Fold, which is a subscription email service that captures front pages around the state.
Yeah, we've tried to diversify. I mean, public relations is changing, and if you're not changing with it, then you're doing something wrong. So we put out Above the Fold. We send out all the front pages of the newspapers. You can go to AboveTheFoldFlorida.com to subscribe to that. We also do a swing state edition, Wisconsin edition, and are expanding that empire. We also have a product called Rocket Lobby, which is a great way for grassroots communication to get to lawmakers in a meaningful way.
So bottom line is, this guy's a genius here. When it comes to like the sort of the electronic, how to use electronics and code and scripting and all that stuff, you've got people and professionals, and you also have an expertise in video and just all of the sort of cutting edge technologies.
I take a lot of credit for a lot of good work that other people do.
Yeah, you're a master. See, that's what makes you one of the top folks in this
business. I thought you said the top. Okay,
well, I don't want to get too many emails from people who might take umbrage with that. So I brought you here today because I wanted to talk about the state of the Democrat race for governor in 2018. And last week we had some big news over the Thanksgiving break while everybody was kind of eating turkey, and there was some news made, and that was that John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, if you're not clear on who I'm talking about.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, a few people have heard of him. My kids know who he is. My daughter says, John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. So she knows who he is, and she's 2 years old. He has announced he's left the party. And we could talk about his reasoning behind that and whether that's a good choice for him or not, but and its impact on the Democratic Party. But is he really out of the race? Does that mean he's out of the race? Is he no longer a contender for governor, or what do you think?
Regardless of whether he's in the race or not, which it looks like he is now not going to be in the race at all.
When you say race, do we talk primary or are we talking race?
I'm talking race in general. It seems that way to me. I know he's got holding out the possibility that maybe he will, but it looks right now like he's out of the race. But he's still going to be a factor. I mean, Mr. Morgan has raised a lot of money for a lot of...
Whoa, suddenly Mr. Morgan?
He's raised a lot of money.
Okay, go ahead.
He's earned that respect. From me at least, but his values line up with Democratic values. And what I say, I believe I told Gray Rohr from the Orlando Sentinel yesterday, is that he's what Republicans like to say rhino and Republican in name only. We're going to invent a Devo, which is Democrat in values only, because
I love it.
John Morgan has been very good on a lot of progressive causes, and I expect that to continue, and that's going to help Democrats at the ballot box, and I expect him to continue to support candidates that support his values. So I don't think he's going anywhere. He's still a giant in Florida politics and helpful to Democrats.
Mm-hmm. He definitely didn't rule anything out specifically. He said he's not running. He made a few comments that sort of hinted one way, but as a communications professional, he definitely left the door open, you'd say.
I think it's always open for anybody. I mean,
right. Well, of course it is. Regardless of what you say, I changed my mind, right? You can
I
always
consult
do that.
for Governor Chris, the people's governor, who's now the people's congressperson in St. Petersburg. So I know that a lot of things change politically very quickly, and you've got to keep an open mind. So I respect that decision.
Now you consult for the people's governor after he became a Democrat, right? You didn't consult for him before.
Well, I actually worked in the Christ administration. Little fun fact for you. I worked at a couple of state agencies during the Christ administration because he was governor that was bipartisan and only wanted to do what was right for the people.
Sensible guy.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
He only ever wanted to do what's right for the people.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate that. Now that gives you a lot more perspective about what it takes to run a gubernatorial campaign. Right now, you are advising one of the candidates in the race. So I want to stipulate that up front that you're advising one of them. So your comments, if we get when we swerve into sort of the other candidates, people can weigh
This
that.
won't be as controversial as the Monday mailbag on thecapitalist.com, but I am supporting Mayor Gillum, Mayor Andrew Gillum, who is the most progressive candidate in the field right now with a record, and will, in my view, be on his way to the nomination of the Democratic.
Let's get the Andrew Gillum stuff out of the way. He is the mayor of Tallahassee. He remains the mayor of Tallahassee, and he remains in the 2018 race. He's still raising money. I saw.
He does not just remain, and let me just correct you there.
Yes,
in
go ahead.
current polling, he's running strong second in the race for the Democratic nomination.
It's an excellent point, and he's raising money still, and his fundraising has actually increased over the last few months.
It has.
It's certainly trailing Republicans, but that's not. I mean, that's
not unique.
That's not unique. He is finding ways to raise money, and I believe it's probably like the grassroots donations. He's not going on. Like Republicans are knocking down huge checks from going into their political committees, while I think most of the Democrats right now are focusing on the smaller donors and sort of building that donor base. Is that fair?
The Andrew Gillum campaign reflects Andrew Gillum's life story, which is being born the son of a bus driver and a construction worker, and being the first in his family to go to college. Andrew Gillum has overcome challenge after challenge in his life, and this is no different. And this campaign will be tough, but I believe that the most progressive, most authentic candidate will prevail in the Democratic primary, and that's Andrew Gillum.
Okay, and he's got a couple of other opponents, and we'll get to those folks in just a minute. We need to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the actual candidates in the race and sort of how each of them stack up and the impact on the recent news on all of those different candidates.